Heihachi Mishima, the Iron Grandpa of the series. Being a character who has been present in every Tekken game, he can either be on top of his game or barely accomplishing anything. So in this video, I'll be ranking Heihachi's role in the story in every canon Tekken game, ranking him from useless to King of the Iron Fist. In the first game, Heihachi is the main villain. In Tekken 1, Heihachi is the leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu, an organization known for being the world's largest developer of military equipment. During this time, Heihachi decides to create the very first King of Iron Fist tournament in order to gather some potential strong soldiers for his own personal use. The winner of the tournament can also get a great amount of prize money as well. During the tournament, Heihachi's son, Kazuya Mishima, would go on to make it into the finals in order to get his revenge on Heihachi for throwing him off a cliff when he was younger. The reason why Heihachi threw Kazuya off a cliff years ago was because he wanted to test Kazuya to see if he was strong enough to be his successor. So in order for Kazuya to be a worthy successor, he would not only have to survive the fall from the cliff, but also climb back up as well. In the tournament, Heihachi gets defeated by Kazuya and gets thrown off the same cliff that he threw Kazuya off years ago. And that's it for Heihachi in Tekken 1. Even though he's the main villain of this game, he doesn't seem to do a lot. All he really does is create the tournament and get beaten by Kazuya, so I'ma say he's just alright in Tekken 1. So sometime after the events of the first game, Heihachi survives the fall of the cliff and climbs back up. Once Heihachi finds out that Kazuya has successfully taken over the Mishima Zaibatsu, he goes into hiding deep within the mountains. He then starts training alongside Kuma in order to refine his Mishima Ryu fighting style. 2 years later, the second King of Iron Fist tournament was announced, and Heihachi enters the tournament to get back the Zaibatsu. During the tournament, Heihachi runs into his adopted son, Lee Chaolon. Furious about Lee joining Kazuya's side, Heihachi defeats Lee easily. In the final stage of the tournament, Heihachi faces off against his son Kazuya. Being pushed to the edge, Kazuya transforms into his devil form to get the upper hand. But despite this, Heihachi manages to push through and defeats Kazuya. To make sure Kazuya stays dead this time, Heihachi would then throw him into a volcano. Heihachi then flies away in his helicopter and the volcano erupts, which ends up killing Kazuya. With that done, Heihachi becomes the leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu once again. And then he proceeds to kick Lee out. And that's it for Heihachi in Tekken 2. Already there is a big change in Heihachi's role in the story, as he has gone from the main villain to the main hero of the story, and he's a lot more active in this game. From going into hiding to train, defeating Lee and Kazuya, throwing Kazuya into a volcano, successfully getting back to Zaibatsu, and kicking Lee out. So for those reasons, I'ma say Heihachi is a King of Iron Fist tier in Tekken 2. Years after the second tournament, Heihachi continues to lead the Mishima Zaibatsu and would even create the Tekken Force, his own private army. One day, Heihachi sends out the Tekken Force on an excavation in Mexico, but they were annihilated by a mysterious being. Heihachi learned that the mysterious being was Ogre, the god of fighting. Heihachi then made it his goal to capture Ogre and obtain great power. During this time, Heihachi was visited by Jin Kazama, claiming to be the son of Jun Kazama and Kazuya Mishima. Jin said that he was told to come to him by his mother when they were attacked by Ogre. Heihachi would then take Jin under his wing and train him in the Mishima Ryu fighting style. 4 years later, Heihachi would announce the third tournament in order to lure out Ogre. After the tournament when Jin defeated Ogre, the Tekken Force soldiers show up and shoot down Jin, and then Heihachi walks up to deliver the headshot. As he walks away, one of the Tekken Force soldiers goes flying past Heihachi, and he turns around, only to see that Jin has awakened the devil gene within him. Jin then grabs his face, slams him through the wall, spreads his wings, and slam downs on Heihachi. Jin then flies away, and Heihachi just casually gets up. And that's it for Heihachi in Tekken 3. He doesn't get to do a lot compared to Tekken 2, but he still gets stuff done in this game. From learning about Ogre, training Jin for 4 years, and creating the tournament to not only lure out Ogre, but also use Jin to his advantage. Although he doesn't do a lot here, his role in the game does affect the overall story going forward, so I'ma say he's just alright in Tekken 3. Sometime after he got slam dunked by Jin, Heihachi and his researchers managed to collect samples of Ogre's blood. This was done in order to try and create a new life form by combining both Heihachi and Ogre's genetic material. However, the experiment was a failure due to Heihachi's genetic material being incompatible with ogres. Heihachi then realized that he didn't have the devil gene, which was necessary in order for the combination to work. With this in mind, Heihachi begins his search for Jin, but while in his search, Heihachi obtains a photograph of a man who appears to be badly burnt. He knew that it was Kazuya in the photo, and also learned that his body had also been taken in by the company known as G Corporation, who was trying to bring Kazuya back to life. After learning about this, Heihachi sends in the Tekken force to invade the G Corporation laboratory in order to find Kazuya's body, but instead they get confronted by Kazuya himself, who had been brought back to life. The Tekken force soldiers try to take out Kazuya, but they all get taken down. So in order to get the devil gene from either Jin or Kazuya, Heihachi would then announce the 4th tournament in order to lure them both out. During the tournament, Heihachi sends out the Tekken force to capture Jin while on his way to fight Kazuya, and they successfully manage to do so. In the finals of the tournament, Kazuya and Heihachi would fight each other once again. Kazuya asks Heihachi where Jin is, but Heihachi says he'll tell him after the match. Now if you saw my Kazuya video, I said that I believe Kazuya winning this fight makes more sense, because there's more evidence to back that up. Like for example, it being referenced in Tekken 8 Story Mode DLC, and there being a cutscene when you win with Kazuya, while for Heihachi there is no cutscene. So Kazuya wins the fight against Heihachi and wins the tournament. As promised, Heihachi takes Kazuya into the Temple of Honmaru, where Jin is being held. Once they arrive, Kazuya's devil persona takes control and pushes Heihachi away. Not long after, Heihachi gets up only to see Kazuya on the floor and tries to defeat Jin in order to take his power. But he gets whipped, but Jin drops Heihachi and then flies away. And that's it for Heihachi in Tekken 4. Honestly, he doesn't do much in this game. His experiment with Ogre's blood failed, he lost to Kazuya, lost to Jin, and failed to get the devil gene from both of them. He accomplishes nothing in this story. He's useless! Shortly after their fight with Jin, Kazuya and Heihachi both get ambushed by a bunch of Jack 4s. Kazuya and Heihachi both temporarily team up together to take down the Jack robots. But as more robots start coming in, Kazuya grabs Heihachi and throws him to the Jacks. Kazuya then escapes and leaves Heihachi. The Jack robots then set off a giant explosion to try and kill Heihachi. But instead of killing him, the explosion sends him flying very far and crash lands in a forest and would not wake up for several weeks. Once Heihachi woke up, the 5th tournament was already over and Jin Kazama became the new leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu. Yeah, as you can see, Heihachi didn't do anything in this game due to him being unconscious for the entire game. So for Tekken 5, I'ma just say he's sidelined. After being gone for the entirety of the 5th tournament, Heihachi would return home, only to be ambushed by the Tekken force. After the attack, Heihachi would go into hiding in the Mishima estate, with a small number of Tekken force soldiers who chose to remain loyal to Heihachi. In the scenario campaign, Heihachi would be confronted by Lars and Alyssa. He then fights both of them and gets defeated, but quickly gets back up. Heihachi then wonders how Lars is able to overpower him in strength and skill. Heihachi then comes to the realization that Lars is in fact his illegitimate son. Lars tells Heihachi that he has a hidden epitaph he found in Central America, revealing that it was Wang Jinrei that told him about it. Lars then pulls out a gun on Heihachi, demanding the location. Alyssa tries to defend Heihachi from Lars, because she believes that pointing a gun at his father is wrong. Even though bullets would literally do nothing to Heihachi, as we will clearly see in a couple seconds. Some guards try to step in, but they get dealt with. Lars then shoots at Heihachi, and somehow, Heihachi has the speed and reaction time to not only lean back, but catch the bullet with his teeth. Lars then gets a phone call from Togu saying that the epitaph has been found within a facility in the Mishima Zaibatsu headquarters. Feeling like his time has been wasted, Lars and Alyssa leave the Mishima estate. And that's it for Heihachi in Tekken 6. Once again, he doesn't get to do much in this game due to losing the Mishima Zaibatsu and going into hiding. So I'ma say he's sidelined in Tekken 6. So at the start of Tekken 7, Jin has gone missing after his battle with Azazel, making it the perfect time for Heihachi to finally step in and take back the Zaibatsu. Heihachi then goes on to defeat many of the Tekken Force soldiers and starts punching missiles away because why not. He then encounters Nina and defeats her. Heihachi then tells Nina and the Tekken Force that with Jin missing, he should be the one to take over. Heihachi manages to become the leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu once again, and then announces the 7th tournament, which we will never see. Heihachi and Nita then take a plane in order to Italy to recruit Claudio in order to take down Kazuya. Claudio and Heihachi fight for a bit, and then afterwards, they come to an agreement to work together. Okay, so let me just quickly talk about Heihachi's plan in this game. You see, his plan is to try and expose Kazuya for being a devil, because when Jin was in charge of the Zaibatsu and started the war, the public saw Kazuya as the hero, because him and G Corporation were the only ones that could fight against the Zaibatsu. Heihachi believes that if he manages to expose Kazuya, the people will turn against G Corporation and see Heihachi as the hero. Back at the Mishima Zaibatsu headquarters, Heihachi says in order for his plan to work, he needs Jin. Later on in the story, the Mishima Zaibatsu find out that Jin has been taken by Lars. Heihachi then sends out the second force to try and capture Jin, but they get taken out. Later on, Heihachi is meditating inside the Mishima dojo, but then suddenly gets attacked by Akuma, who has been sent by Heihachi's wife Kazumi to kill him and Kazuya. Heihachi then gets defeated by Akuma, but recovers not long after. Returning to the Mishima Zaibatsu headquarters, Heihachi realizes that if Akuma ends up fighting Akuma, he could use that to his advantage. So he tells his soldiers to tell the world that he's dead and calls off the tournament. Later on, Akuma and Kazuya start fighting, and Kazuya transforms. Once the Zaibatsu manages to record Kazuya in his devil form, Heihachi then uses a satellite laser from space to kill both Kazuya and Akuma. But Kazuya survived the explosion and shoots a laser at the satellite, which destroys an entire town. Sometime after, Heihachi gets interviewed by the narrator of Tekken 7, with the narrator wanting to uncover the true secrets of the Mishima family. And this is where Heihachi talks about meeting his wife Kazumi for the first time. Kazumi first entered the Mishima dojo when she was a child and trained under Heihachi. Dedicated to her training and steadily improving, Heihachi considered her as his rival at the time. As time went on, Kazumi and Heihachi grew closer, and eventually they had a child named Kazuya. But then one day, Kazumi suddenly collapsed during training and Heihachi rushed her to bed. Heihachi goes on to train by himself, but then he sees Kazumi. Kazumi then suddenly attacks him and then explains why she's doing this. Kazumi explains that she's actually from the Hachijo clan, a clan whose purpose is to kill anyone who could become a potential threat to the world. Kazumi also has the devil gene and transforms. Heihachi is able to win and walks away, but Kazumi gets up and charges at him, only for her to get caught and gets grabbed. Kazumi then tries to sweet talk her way out of it, but Heihachi doesn't fall for it and snaps her neck. Heihachi then takes one last look at her and then sheds a tear. Heihachi then goes on to say that because Kazumi was a devil, he thought that her powers would be transferred to Kazuya as well, so Heihachi threw Kazuya off a cliff to make sure. Not only is this a very stupid retcon, but it also doesn't make any sense, because 1. The original reason why Heihachi threw Kazuya off a cliff was because he wanted to see if Kazuya was truly strong enough to be his successor, and most importantly, this reason is stated in multiple games. And even though the anime is not canon, it's even mentioned there as well.
If you're truly my son, then you'll be able to climb back up.
Please don't! Please don't!
2. Prior to Tekken 7, Kazumi was neither seen or mentioned in the story. She was never introduced as a character before Tekken 7. Anyway, let's fast forward to the final battle with Kazuya and Heihachi. Both of them give it their all in this fight, with both of them going full power. Kazuya then hits Heihachi with a full power blast, but Heihachi not only survives, but manages to overpower Kazuya and knocks him back into base form. After struggling to take each other down, Kazuya punches Heihachi in the chest, which knocks him down. After that, Kazuya takes Heihachi's body to a volcano and throws him into a pool of lava. And that's it for Heihachi in Tekken 7. So far out of all the Tekken games, this is the most active Heihachi has been since Tekken 2. Taking back the Mishima Zaibatsu again, defeating Claudio, surviving against Akuma, managing to expose Kazuya, and managing to fight against Kazuya at full power. Despite losing to Kazuya, Heihachi does his part well as the main protagonist of this game. Overall, I'ma say he's active. So, with the Mishima saga coming to a close, and Kazuya successfully killing Heihachi, surely this means we won't have to see Heihachi in another Tekken game, right? Of course not! Immediately after Heihachi gets thrown into a volcano, he gets saved by one of the Tekken monks. Okay, first, why? Second, who or what is a Tekken monk? Don't worry, we'll talk about that later. After being saved, we later on find out that Heihachi has amnesia due to his fight with Kazuya. How? He then gets recruited by the Tekken monks in order to learn the ultimate Mishima technique, which requires the warrior to be pure of heart in order to master it. 6 months pass by and Heihachi is sparring with Shiryu, the high priest of the Tekken monks. Now before we go any further, let me quickly explain who the Tekken monks are. The Tekken monks are a clan of warriors dedicated to their pursuit of martial arts, while secluding themselves from the world. The Tekken monks only have one vow: to master the ultimate technique lost to time and restore the Mishima style to its former purity. With that explanation done, Heihachi and Shiryu discuss about the Star Crusher trial, a trial where a warrior must destroy a meteorite that falls every 200 years. Later on, Lydia, Eddie, and Yoshimitsu come to visit the newly reformed Heihachi and is impressed by his training. But according to Shiryu, Heihachi's wavering mind is causing an imbalance in mind, body, and technique. So in order to achieve balance, the Tekken monks use a forbidden technique in order to get Heihachi's mind right. Even though it might affect his memories, they still go through with the process. Heihachi meets up with the past version of himself, saying that he can't let the Tekken monks have their way. Heihachi then manages to win the fight and suppress his older self. Later on, Heihachi and Lydia have a sparring match. On the day of the trial, Lydia asks Heihachi if he would like to join them in the fight against Kazuya, and Heihachi says, "Yeah." Later on, Heihachi is preparing himself for the trial. While at the same time, Jin and Kazuya are fighting in space, and the explosion caused several meteors to fall down to Earth. With the meteor coming towards him, Heihachi braces himself and catches the meteor, but he's being pushed back. So as a last resort, Heihachi headbutts the meteor. And this not only completely destroys the meteor, but it somehow fixes Heihachi's amnesia and gets all his memories back, turning him into the Heihachi we know and remember. After he gets his memories back and obtains the ultimate Mishima technique, Heihachi goes on to take out a great number of the Tekken monks, including Shiryu and Suzaku. Lydia, Eddie, and Yoshimitsu team up together to try and stop Heihachi, but it doesn't go well. Yoshi gets tossed, Eddie gets smacked away, and Lydia gets her speech interrupted.
Nie poddam się, nie tylko ze względu na mój kraj, ale i losy całego...
After taking all of them down, Heihachi says he'll put Kazuya back in his place, and also says once their blood awakens, everything will fall into place. Probably talking about Reina having the devil gene. And that's it for Heihachi and Tekken 8. Right from the start, there are a lot of things wrong with this DLC story, and Heihachi coming back was one of them. From training with the Tekken monks for 6 months, managing to suppress his older self, destroying an entire meteor, getting his memories back, obtaining the ultimate Mishima technique, defeating most of the Tekken monks, and defeating Lydia, Eddie, and Yoshimitsu. Overall, I'ma say he's alright in Tekken 8. Thank you for watching the 5th episode of How Useless Are the Tekken Characters series. After the last few characters I covered, it naturally made sense that I would do Heihachi next, considering he's one of the most important characters in Tekken. The next character I plan on doing is Yoshimitsu, so stay tuned for that. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'ma see you later.